Hey, it's Rhianna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Q&A video and the giveaway for the day designer. So first off, I want to say thank you to everyone who contributed to the Q&A by asking questions either on my YouTube or on my Instagram. I really appreciate y'all participating. So everyone who asked a question either on YouTube or on my Instagram or wherever, your names will be placed into a hat, so to speak, and you will be entered to win this day designer planner. And so at the end of the Q&A, I will announce who the winner is. So I have all the questions on a piece of paper, so I apologize now if I'm looking down. I'm gonna try not to do it too much. Okay, so the first question is from Bath and Beauty Freak. She wants to know, when did I first start using a planner and what was my first planner? My first memory of using planners was back in junior high when they actually gave everyone a student planner at the beginning of the year. And I pretty much used planners off and on from that point on in my life. I would use a planner at the beginning of the year pretty consistently, and then halfway through the semester I would stop, and then I would pick it back up at the beginning of the next semester. And I just kind of did that all through school. And then into adulthood, I would pick up little agendas and planners and things like that from the store whenever I would see one that was cute, or I decided I was gonna, get super organized or whatever. But I didn't actually start this type of planning, this creative type planning, until, I believe it was April of 2015. So I'm going to count my first planner in that regards to when I restarted this, and it would be my Erin Condren Lifeplanner, and it was a vertical. So Apple Pecan Sews, she asked, and this wasn't, I don't think was a question for the Q&A because I did answer her separately, but I have had a couple people ask, and I figured I would go ahead and answer it on the Q&A about how much it costs to go wild. It's kind of hard to pinpoint an exact dollar amount for you to save, but the best way, and I did a couple budget videos on it already, so I'll link those up in the eye and down below as well. But the ticket, I've gone both years. The ticket the first year was $350, $375 or so, and the second year it was $450, $475 or so. So you need to budget around maybe $500 for the ticket. And nothing is included with that except for the actual event. So there's nothing additional to participate in anything at Go Wild. Your ticket is everything for the actual speakers and sessions and all that, but it does not include any hotel accommodations, travel, food, anything like that. So everything else is out of pocket, and you can kind of make it, I'm not gonna say cheap because it's definitely not a cheap thing, but you for example, you could get a hotel room by yourself and you'd have to pay the cost of the hotel room 100%, or you can get roommates and you can split it amongst 4 people, you and 3 other people, and that's gonna drop the cost of hotel accommodations significantly. So it just kind of depends on what your preference is, and you don't have to worry about not knowing anybody, and so you wouldn't have a roommate. Once you have purchased a ticket, the admins will create a event group, and from there you get to know each other. There's a roommate thread, a road trip thread, a an airline, Excel spreadsheet where you can see if anyone's flying in with you at the same time. So they really try to make it as easy to make friends and meet people, and as you make it out to be. So the first year when I went to New Orleans, it was probably $2,500 because I went with my husband. I didn't share a hotel room or anything. All the cost was basically ×2, and so it was much more expensive. This year, on the other hand, I went without my husband. I shared a room with another person. I road tripped with another person, so all those costs were significantly reduced. All that to say, I would say about $2,000 would be a good cushion, but you kind of just need to go from there and see, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. It all depends on your preference on how you want to handle the travel. Okay, now apple pecan sews. I'm sorry that I don't know any of y'all's like real names, so if your username is like that, that's just how I know you as. She asked a whole bunch of questions, and I chose a few of them to answer. So the next one was, what was your first pet? I would say my first pet was my hamster. Did I grow up in Texas or elsewhere? Yes, I grew up in Texas. I was actually born and raised in League City, Texas, which is a suburb southeast of Houston. It's about 45 minutes from downtown Houston and about 20 minutes from Galveston, which is the coast. Apple Pecan Sews also asked a couple questions kind of in the same like realm about if I were creating a happy planner or washi tape or something like that, what would it look like? For me, it would probably be either glittery or holographic for either one of, like, whatever it was. It would have to be glittery or holographic or something like that. For washi, I would probably do something like pink or purple, like with, like right now I'm collecting rubber ducks and I'm kind of on a rubber duck kick. So it'd be really cute to maybe have a cover that had a rubber duck on it, or a washi that had a rubber duck on it, or something like that. Like a holographic pink rubber ducky. That'd be really cute. Apple Pecan Sews and Diane Mania also asked me, how did I meet my husband and how long have we been married? I met my husband online on the dating site OkCupid, and we have been married for 2.5 years. And the last question from Apple Pecan Sews is, how much washi is enough? Well, that's a trick question. If you would have asked me that when I first started planning, I would have said no such thing as enough washi. But I've kind of outgrown washi and I'm more into stickers now. I actually have that rolling cart, you know, that rainbow rolling cart behind me that's got like 4 rows full of washi, and I hardly ever touch it. I really need to get rid of it. So my answer now would be maybe a handful of rolls. So Sabrina asks, what type of planner do I like better? The one that I'm currently using, which is the Bujo, or the one that I was previously using, which was the Erin Condren? For me, it really, there's no better. It's what works for you. But for me personally, I really like Erin Condren, and it might just be because that's what I've gotten used to. The Bujo does have its pros, because you can put pretty much, like, since it's a blank slate, you can do anything with it. And you're not like restricted to it being a weekly planner. In my Bujo, I can put a weekly spread and then turn the page and keep track of bills, and then turn the page and make a grocery list. But you can't really do that with an Erin Condren style planner. Sweet Jean asked who, what, when, where got me into planning, and what was my first planner. I answered the second part of that, but for the who, what, when, where, why, how of how I got into planning, I actually, like I said, I was kind of already like into it off and on throughout my life, but this last recent time, and that really got me into the creative planning side, was another YouTuber named Kim Love. She doesn't make videos anymore, unfortunately, but she did an unboxing for an Erin Condren, and I fell in love with it. Crystal asks, how in the world do I keep up with 3 planners, maniac, and why do I live so far away? Okay, so keeping up with more than one planner is where the whole bullet journal thing has its pros, because you don't have to keep up with 3 planners. But I'm not actually keeping up with 3 planners right now. I have my traveler's notebook that is for my purse, and I have my bullet journal. I'm actually not using my Erin Condren right now. It is literally sitting right here and it's empty. So this was the week that I started the Wild 30 class, so I never actually went in and did anything in this planner. I only pre-planned. And then this was the next week, also just pre-planning. And then the following week, which is this week, is empty. So yeah, I'm not keeping up with 3 planners. I'm using my bullet journal and my traveler's notebook, so I'm not a maniac. And why do I live so far away? It's really not that far. Like, I don't know what to say. You know why I'm out here. Jonathan's job. Monique asks, how do I track my calories? I use MyFitnessPal. And then she wants me to ask my brother a question. So after I finish filming this, I will get his question answered at the end of this video. Olivia Wynn's question is there a good beginner's planner, and is bullet journaling more advanced? I think that if you're just getting into planning, you would maybe want to stay away from bullet journaling. But it just depends on what your style of planning is and what you're looking for in your planner. If you're the type of person where you would rather just maybe open up a page, you know, write the day's date and your to-dos for the day and just check them off as you go, then that might be a good planner for you. If you're the type of person that wants to use stickers and washi and things like that, an Erin Condren might be best for you. This type of planner is the type of planner that I gravitated to before I started doing this like creative style planning. And that kind of goes for the same question that Tang asked. She wants to know if I could recommend a good planner for a high school student. This type of planner would be what I would use whenever I was in high school, because it's horizontal and it's a week on a page. So unless you needed something where you have a day on a page, which would be like the larger day designers, you can see it's got plenty of space where you could write down like homework and any after school activities or anything like that. Crazy Wife Loving Life, that's a tongue twister, wants to know, what do I enjoy most about planning and how did I get started? So this second part I've already answered. I think the decorating part is my favorite part, but I also really am very type A, and I like seeing it all and crossing things off my list. So it's a combination of both, and I think that's the reason why creative planning works for me. Pixie Rocks asks, how do you prevent planning from becoming an obligation? Honestly, for me, I have never missed a single week since I started. And it's because I do enjoy it so much. But I know that there are plenty of people that go through periods where they just don't plan and they don't touch their planner for like weeks at a time. And I think that it does become an obligation if it's not something that you enjoy doing. If you're not a planner, you're not gonna be able to maintain, especially not creative planning, because it's really time consuming and a lot goes into it. If you do better at just making lists every day, then just stick to what works for you. Crazy Cabana asks, what's my favorite planner? The Erin Condren. I also really liked the day designer, the one that has the day on the page, so a whole page per day. Yeah, a whole day per page, something like that. But I found that I really like creative planning, and so with that style of planner, I didn't have a way to be able to use like all of my stickers and stuff. So the Erin Condren kind of balances between that with the week on a day and still leaving me space. I like the hourly, which is the one that I'm gonna be moving to as soon as this Wild 30 class is over. And it's the one that I was using before the class too. Mrs. Reeb W asks, how do I use my planner to achieve my goals? Every month, as far as like monthly goals, I set myself written goals in my planner of things that I want to achieve for the month, and it's something that I can visually see, and I see it every time I go into my planner. As far as like daily goals or weekly goals, things like keeping the house up, you know, chores, things like that, it's just because I see them constantly, if not every single day. I look at my planner almost every single day, but there have been times that like the day goes by and I never picked it up. But there's something about when you look at it every day, it really helps you stay focused on your goals, and you can see the progress being made if it's something that's like, if it's a bigger goal and you have to take smaller step towards it, you can see the progress that you're making because you're physically writing it down into a planner, and it's not something that's just kind of like floating around in space somewhere. Polka Plans and Gen C, which Gen C and Gen S is Polka Plans, both asked the same question. They want to know who is my favorite, Gen C or Gen S. So to Gen C's question, it's Gen S, and to Gen S's question, it's Gen C. Polka Plans also asked if I could eat out at one restaurant for only one restaurant for a whole year, which restaurant would it be? So that's a really hard question to answer, and I think I'm going to just real quick. My Fair Lady 522 says, since I've been trying to meal plan, my question is, what is your favorite dinner meal to make? And then she also asks, and since we go to the Houston area quite often and try to eat at different places, what's your favorite restaurant in Houston? So for that question about my favorite restaurant, and for the question that Polka Plans asked, I would actually probably pick the same restaurant. There's this little Mexican restaurant or Tex-Mex restaurant down the street from us called Aguilar's Tex-Mex. It's a hole in the wall, but not really. It's a brand new restaurant, but it's in a really small little strip next to a Wingstop off of Highway 6. And it's my favorite Tex-Mex. Jonathan and I, if we go out to eat, pretty much are going there. As far as what's my favorite meal to make, something that we have in our family pretty regularly, like not every single week, but probably like every 2 to 3 weeks, is tater tot casserole. It's my favorite dinner. Okay, so there was a question for my Q&A. They want to know, what's your favorite thing to do with me? Favorite activity?
Favorite activity?
On the spot?
Hang out, spend time.
Oh, that was awful. Okay, and then pick the winner for my Q&A. Hey, Tamale. Just the name. What does the name say? There should be a name. Did I put one in there that's not a name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pixie Rocks.
Pixie Rocks.
Pixie
Woo,
Rocks.
you're the winner. Thanks, guys. Have a good day at work. Okay, bye. Alright guys, that was the Q&A. I had a really good time answering y'all's questions. Thanks to everyone who participated. I can't wait to get this edited and announce the winner. It'll probably be tomorrow. Today's Friday and I plan on publishing it tomorrow. So congrats to Pixie Rocks. I'll be notifying you. I think you asked me via Instagram. So I'll be sure to try to reach out to you. I hope y'all enjoyed the Q&A. Thumbs up the video if you did. I'll be sure to do one of those in the future if it's something that y'all really liked. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Hope you have a good weekend. Bye.